Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, folks. We're paying yet. Just mail away George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bobby Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, it's Memorial Day. I know y'all enjoyed your long weekend, but tomorrow is time to go back to work. I don't know. Monday's not too bad. It goes back really quick, but Tuesday's the bitch. I never liked Tuesdays. I mean, you're not really at the end of the week. You're still at the early of the week. And now with Tuesday becoming like Monday, it's worse. So, but you do enjoy that nice 3-day weekend. I hope you enjoy the time. Also, let's not forget, this is a day to recognize those who made sacrifice for behalf of this country and other countries through their life, their times, their bodies. If you know a veteran or you know somebody who has served and they have passed. Very day we recognize veterans, but here we also want to recognize those who made the ultimate sacrifice of their lives. So I'm gonna give a moment of silence for those who have passed in the field of battle. Okay, thank y'all and salute you. So, folks, we have a little fun today because I don't get to have a little fun too much. We always try to have subject to talk about, but this is something I always thought about. You never know that wrestling and and bodybuilding share some things a bit. I know quite a few bodybuilders who were at one point wrestlers. And I've seen some wrestlers who got into bodybuilding. Guys like John Cena, Batista, the late China. Trish Stratus. I mean, one day I had a pleasure interviewing Melody Specco, who also was one point in her career was a wrestler. Even I remember there's a picture I remember saw years ago of Linda Murray trying out for wrestling. And wrestling is a tough sport. It's sports entertainment. And I grew up being in the South. I grew up watching wrestling a good part of my life as a young man. I grew up with AAW, that's Smoky Mountain, NWA, later became WCW, and also grew with WWF, not WWE. And now I grew up with the Attitude Era. Like my favorite wrestler back in the Attitude Era were a couple of guys like The Rock, most definitely Stone Cold Steve Austin, Goldberg, all that. Those guys were great coming as kids. But you know what? If bodybuilding could be more like professional wrestling, where you have good storylines, entertainment, and sometimes you do see that every now and then, would it help it get more mainstream attention? If some of these ladies come out, like you have Andrea come out and stun Jim Mannion, or something like Natalia and Sarah do like a cage match, to see who's going to be the next Miss Olympia physique champion. So, folks, that's something to think about, and we're having a little fun with this. So, shout out here. I have my guest here. My main man here, he's going to be going away in a few days. He's going to be hitting his way to Shreveport, Louisiana. My man, David, female body form, one of the top, channels for women's bodybuilding, female bodybuilding, and he's my brother. I love him, but I'm also I'm a hater because he has handled my girl. I gotta let it go. She even talked about him. Man. I tried to, but she even talked about him, mentioned his name. Put his name in his mouth. I love him. He's my brother. I love him. But
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, brother. Also, another one of my brothers.
Thanks for that great intro, by the way. That was a good intro.
Yeah, brother. Yesterday was Bros Day, so this is my bro. We're like the mega powers here. Also, one of my other brothers here, man, KL the Wanderer. He's outside. He's hanging out. Brother, welcome, brother. Thank you for coming through. Yeah. What you doing outside? There's some pretty girls. He's into some. Look good.
I was washing clothes. That's why, and I know you having something. I didn't want to miss it, so they make sense to go inside and washing. So.
Yeah. Who washed clothes?
It's nice outside. Looks like up there. I bet it'd be nicer than Florida.
Well, probably
it's nice. It can be nice, and it can be unpleasant too. So
yeah. Also, we have another gentleman here, my man from Empire Nation Stand Up. Shout out to another brother. We're all mega powers here, brothers.
We're all mega powers here.
Yeah, all the mega powers here.
If you smell what the Empire Nation.
Empire Nation.
That's right.
Oh hell yeah, son. You know, oh hell yeah, my man Stone Cold. I mean, I remember one time he was doing his thing. I said, man, and I usually don't use so too often. Man, Stone Cold, you mad niggerish. So he just was.
Yeah,
He talked shit. He hit. You know, he just that. I just straight up. And also, we have another guest. We don't get into too often. Our man Jeff, DJ Jeff is
What's
here.
what's
DJ
up,
Jeff.
everybody?
hello.
Hey,
What's up,
hey, George.
Jeff?
I need to get going up, but I need to get going up. Hey, KL, and David. Good luck. Hey, George, come here. Hey, George, come here. I'll join you guys next week if we do this topic again. Okay? Me and KLA will talk about this together.
All right,
Okay.
Jeff. Thank you for coming through,
Trust
brother. I
me.
appreciate
George,
that.
hey, everybody. George gonna take a break. Me and K, and Jasper will run the show next week. George, you can take a break. It's Memorial Day.
Oh, I
Happy
tried to,
Memorial
brother.
Day.
I
Yeah.
appreciate you, brother. Yeah, thank you for coming through. We have some comments here in the comment section. Uh, this is from, uh, this is from a man, Emmanuel. He says this. He says, explain what you mean when you say professional bodybuilding could be like professional wrestling. There are many different perspectives on this. It can be looked at any different ways. Well, the one thing is that we all know bodybuilding doesn't get as much mainstream attention. Like like right now we just was it almost last month was I think WrestleMania, which was about a month or so ago, big event. You had then last year you had John Cena retire. Then there was we also Brock Lesnar was retired, but he then came back. He attacked Omofime, and then Omofime paid him back. And that's the thing about wrestling, especially a lot of us who grew up watching it as kids, and I remember me, my brothers, my nephews, like we used to watch WCW because they used to come on like about that 8 o'clock, and then we'll watch it up till it ended, and we watched another half hour of WWE when everything was in, and it was just entertaining because these guys were like superheroes. They were big, massive guys, not even big, guys like Rey Mysterio and other wrestlers who had a small had some speed. And that's what's really entertaining. And I remember back in the day, if y'all remember this, now, I know Jeremy would probably, if Jeremy was here, there was an organization called WBF that was created by Vince McMahon. We got a lot of bodybuilders from the WBF to come over, not from the IFB to come over. It was short lived. I think it was on for a couple of years because there was a lot of stuff that went on, controversies, use of steroids. And even the wrestlers wanted to go back to those body want to go back to IFBB, they had to take a suspension. And they weren't allowed to come back until they took a year suspension, got themselves cleaned up. I think it was guys like Aaron Baker, I think Paul Dillette did it. One thing for me, I didn't like so much about it because it didn't have the women. Because I know one thing, Vince was not a big into the ladies, but Vince was like, man, those days, Vince was swole to come out there, like he was just,
No chance that was what you got.
Yeah, it was just entertaining. And we look at stuff like that. We talked about earlier how I said about like Sarah and Natalia or whatever. Now Natalia's not saying much right now, but Sarah's been a lot of attacking. Wouldn't that be a great cage match? Would you like something like Hell in a Cell? Can you imagine something like that to get in Hell in a Cell?
Yeah, some type of arm wrestling match or something.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Yeah, that arm wrestling match, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But
So they can sell it.
If it was just
So they can sell it that way.
They need to do some promos, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, they got custom promos up in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah. And there's been quite a few wrestlers that often hang out with bodybuilders because, some of them, many of them, like I said earlier, like guys like Batista and John Cena and quite a few others started out as bodybuilding and later on transitioned to wrestling. I mean, it was something for them to do. A while back, a young lady, because I follow a lot of stuff on what's going on. Always, as I said, my favorite quote is to be aware of my surroundings all the time. A young lady by the name of Ivy Nile, if you ever heard of her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to her. She won Girl Power.
Yeah. She just recently made her bodybuilding debut. She competes as a natural bodybuilder.
Oh.
And she goes, I forgot her real name, but she goes by the name Ivy now. She's wrestled on organizations such as SmackDown. Also, I think she was on NXT. This is her boyfriend or somebody, some guys we close to, and she has this great look to her. I mean,
Yeah.
she's young, blonde, fit. She did a
Mhm.
show, I believe, was it a few months ago? It was last month. And this thing is, she's just, has a great personality about her.
She's giving the bicep shot for her cover
Yeah.
shot there. That's interesting.
Yeah, and I know she was working with some people. I forget who it was. I remember because I saw some
Mother?
pictures. Yeah, and this is on the day of her bodybuilding debut. Now, I gotta be careful because how see the music and stuff here.
Messed up. They're like, honey, we'll fix you right before. And I was like, but it's bad now. Look at my legs though. Look, Jen.
It's about damn time. Did you want to go look at the stage?
Sure. I'm used to these legs.
Mm-hmm. How you feeling?
I feel good.
Remember the leg up like this way, boom, yes, and then hit it, give it to him. I can cry right now, I'm so proud of you.
I've never been more proud of a human, I think.
No, seriously, you deserve every bit of it. You deserve every bit of it.
I'm so proud of you. Thank you. And we are going to get that mother pro card, okay? So this is my 1000% natural little beast.
She's ready.
Nicholas.
Yeah, she's really impressive, and again, she's
She's
young,
natural.
natural. Yeah, she's natural.
Okay.
And that's one factor because there's a real big push for natural bodybuilding. We just had, was it last month? We had the Pittsburgh. No, was it early month? No, early this month we had the Pittsburgh Pro. We had the pro qualifier. Was a young lady on there who got a pro card. She's a natural competitor in women's physique, and possibly we might see her maybe in the future. There's some other shows that could possibly get a pro card, but the thing is, as a life of professional wrestler, it's a busy life. You are traveling practically 24 hours in a day. You rarely get the chance to go home if you do have a home. Also, you have to deal with injuries and risks. I mean, it's tough. Here she is with AJ Styles. AJ Styles just retired recently.
Yeah.
And there's this Stephanie McMahon, also another young wrestler there. AJ, that's Lash right there. She's has a boyfriend here. I think who's that guy? I don't recognize. Ran off. She has great. There's AJ Lee. Shout out to AJ Lee. Her husband is CM Punk, and really, she has a lot of potential. I think it looks like I don't know. I'd say it's Trish Stratus, not Trish Stratus. And remember, also Trish. She wasn't so much a bodybuilder per se. She was a model. There's Jimmy Hart, the mouth of the South. Woo! That's it. He wrote a lot of the scripts and stuff for a lot of wrestlers back in the day. Yeah, we also managed the Hart Foundation. Shout out to our man, Josh. He used the Hart, the old classic Bret Hart theme music for the Live. Yeah, don't. That's a classic.
I just saw a documentary on Netflix about Hulk Hogan, and they showed Jimmy, and they showed what Jimmy's up to now. It was kind of cool. It's like, dang, it brought back memories seeing him, and they showed shots of Florida Championship Wrestling where Hulk got his start. That's a good documentary. And I haven't seen the whole thing. It's like a docu-series, but I gotta see it. But it's good. I like Hulk.
Well, as a kid, I grew up like Hulk. Of course, say your peers, take your vitamins, but then stuff happened with him, so I kind of got distanced myself from him.
Yeah,
like
I understand.
If you had like a Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, I'm starting with each other. You start with David. Who would be on your Mount Rushmore?
Oh, definitely Macho Man. He's always my favorite, and I still love the clips of him on, you got pukesters on my left, pukesters on my right. Yeah, I can't do the
Don't get down. Yeah, that was a class. Who else?
Well,
Mount Rushmore. He's like 4 more. There's 3 more.
Who would you say for wrestling?
Yeah, you have Mount Rushmore. You say I'd say Mount Rushmore. Who else you got? Say Macho Man.
Besides Macho Man, yeah.
Yeah, it's Mount Rushmore. Like you know how you have the presidents.
Maybe he don't have it. He don't got a Mount Rushmore.
He just said Macho
somebody he
Man.
like.
Just Macho.
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
who else? Go. You know. You
Yeah,
have
3 more.
Yeah, you have Mount Rushmore. Josh.
Let's see. I'm going to have to go with Sting.
Sting's good.
The Rock because of his promo skills.
Yeah.
Who else? Shawn Michaels. And one more. And I'm going to have to go with Rey Mysterio. Booyaka.
What about you, KL? You have a Mount Rushmore, everybody.
I remember growing up watching Hacksaw Jim Duggan's. Who else? Macho Man, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper. Who else? I don't know, man. Like China. If I could put China up in there.
Yeah,
China.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
I think when she was there, I think majority of times, you know, I used to enjoy watching her. And that's
especially that
about
bazooka
it.
entrance.
Yeah, I would say mine, especially growing up, I gotta go. I have to take. Like I said again, I disqualified Hulk Hogan. I have to go with Ric Flair. Woo! Boy.
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes. I grew up with
There you
him. I would say Macho Man, and I would say Stone Cold. But you know what? I might change it up a little bit. I'll keep Rick and Dusty, and I'll put Stone Cold and The Rock. Yeah, I like The Rock. You know, I would say I
You did
mean,
enjoy the Undertaker.
Oh yeah, I will mention
And
Undertaker.
the other dude,
Yeah.
and the
great.
other dude,
Yeah.
Kane.
he was the morgue or something like that. He was
Kane.
like,
Paul Bear.
Paul Bear.
But-
Undertaker.
that
Actually,
him and his
remember he
voice
started.
and stuff.
Yeah, he actually started with Brother Love, and then they came in. Paul Bear came in a little later after that. But yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I remember Brother Love.
yeah. Anyway, we were talking about earlier about China. There was a wrestler. Her name is Sarah, and Sarah, she's known as China Syndrome. She is not just a wrestler. She's from Great Britain, but she's also a bodybuilder. She competes in, I think, AAB, or I think it's a NABA, one of the two.
NABA.
And yeah,
I think so.
NABA. Yeah. And she to me, if you see this girl, she's like early China, not early China, but China post, which, she remember a few years ago, China took a step back from wrestling. Then she has some cosmetic work, changed the look of her face.
Yeah.
But China was a big chick. She was at least about nearly 6 feet tall.
It was sad when she passed away. How she passed away? Like, I think I forgot she died on some medical issue or something like that.
Well, I think the story was, I think she had some issue with her heart, and I think she had overdosed on some kind of medication.
Yeah.
But
that's why I keep hearing.
This is if you recognize, we actually reached out to her about a couple years ago to try to set up an interview because, as you know, I'm a big wrestling fan. Also, I like to talk to bodybuilders for the story. And she competes in the NABA as a pro, and she does professional wrestling, but she has that great look to it. She if you look at her, it's like she's like like a post, like
an impersonator.
She's like post China, like like after DX.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's an impressive young lady. As you know, she's also competes in bodybuilder. She has a great look to her. I mean, this here with Billy Gunn, Mr. Badass. I mean, she has a great look to her. I mean, good question. Would she ever, I don't know, would they ever recruit her for, like, I don't know, there's not a lot of there's always been kind of an issue where somebody talk about with China because there's a debate where she's not part of the WWE Hall of Fame. You know, and it really we China came to the game. You know, the way women like her. You know, she's really amazing. Here she is talking a little bit.
Does anyone else struggle with their sleep? Me personally, I've always had an issue with sleeping. Like, I wake up I'm wired more at night than I am in the day. And because I've got ADHD, like my brain fires at night. So I'm like having these random debates. I'm going down rabbit holes. Like, do camels have kneecaps? Do bears ever get cold in Antarctica? Like, stupid things at night. But then Pantheon brought out Hypnos. So I'm like, right, let's give it a go. So it's Hypnos Potent Sleep Formula. So it's meant to help you sleep. So I've been trying this for a month. I'm like, I'll try anything to try and regulate my sleep because I can be all over the place with it. And to be honest, it's actually helped me regulate my sleep pattern. So I'm going to bed at a decent time. I am actually falling asleep. I'm getting my 8 hours in. And if you know about bodybuilding, the sleep is an essential part to be growing your muscles. So for me, it's actually been a godsend, quite honestly, because I feel so much better getting a regular sleep pattern in, and I'm not having these random debates with myself at night or thinking about things that I did 15 years ago. When you did that, you made yourself look really stupid. Yeah. So in terms of what it's put in it, so you've got your magnesium in it, 5-HTP, ashwagandha, again, helps you sleep, L-theanine, valerian root, zinc, and vitamin B6. So how I like it, you take 3 capsules.
Yeah. You know, I think she has a, she's from Britain. I think she has a lovely voice to her. She has a great look to her. Here she is with the one Mr. Billy Gunn, the real Billy Gunn, Mr. Badass. Actually, I remember I saw him a picture with Donna Salib. Donna Salib is a big wrestling fan because, she remember back in the day before her husband is Mr. Magnificent. I think David, you interviewed, I think also KL interviewed Donna. And she's a big wrestling fan because she also used to wrestle. She did it for a good bit.
Yeah,
we haven't heard much from.
She's pretty awesome. I like her.
The late Melissa Coates was a wrestling fan and a wrestler herself.
Yeah, Melissa Coates was a wrestler.
Yeah.
I remember I was talking with Rhonda Charisma, and I was hoping to try to set up something with her because that was the year when she lost her leg. Because she was dealing with a lot of issues with I think nerve damage, and she had to get one of her legs amputated. She used to go by the name Super Genie. And she also wrestled too. Yeah. I mean, I think there's some pictures of Donna. I remember one time Donna actually, if I could find it, she was at I think she was at some kind of, it was a guest posing at a show. It should be on here on her social media, where she came out dressed up like Hulk Hogan. I think even one time she.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, she's mad, but Donna, she's.
One thing I was curious about is whether any of these ladies that did wrestling later, or wrestlers who did bodybuilding later, or vice versa, did they ever do any backstage promos at the bodybuilding show? Just what I'm saying, because they already know how to do the promo for wrestling. It'd be funny to see them do one for a bodybuilding show. And
that's what I keep saying. Like, have them do before they do their posing routine, they should have them do a little promo.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
But here's somebody you can look up: Bailey Humphrey, not Bailey with the ponytail, but Bailey Humphrey.
Bailey Humphrey. Let me see.
That sounds familiar. Oh, and Jordan Grace. Don't forget about
Jordan Grace. Yeah, Jordan Grace did a stint in wrestling, bodybuilding for a little bit. She did a show in Virginia about 3 or 4 years ago. She was she won the I think she won it was a regional, she won it, but she's really serious about her wrestling, but she enjoys bodybuilding. She go by the moniker Big Mama Pump, which is
Yep, she
derived
sure
from
does.
Scott Steiner, who called himself Big Papa Pump. And what's the name again, Josh?
Bailey Humphrey from WWE LFG.
Bailey, let me see, give me a second. Yeah.
I haven't heard of her before. I don't think I've seen her.
She's not a bodybuilder, but she's buff and tall. You'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, I think I got her right here. Let me see. Wow. Ooh.
She told you. I told you. You're like, wow. Ooh.
She. You know what? She reminds me of. I'm gonna put the picture. She kind of reminds me. I'm trying to think of.
She does look familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. She reminds me of.
She look like a female Goliath.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. She reminds me of a body back in the day. Her face looks like her, kind of like it. The jawline is kind of almost like China.
Show some more pictures.
There you go.
These two athletes, because they are in the deep water of this matchup. Look at Bailey. Look at Bailey Humphrey.
That's a mean-looking face right there.
Well, you talked about right there before. Right now, trying to crush the cranium, crushing the skull of Danny Sikowski. Bailey Humphrey. These two.
That's from LFG, which was.
Yeah, she look like a monster, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I think she might have done some powerlifting. Look at the quads.
She's impressive.
Wow, that's impressive. This woman, could she have? Well, I think one thing she's a little lean. I think she does more. She's more of a line of a powerlifter than I would say a bodybuilder. If she can bring up her legs, she
do look familiar. I think it was a video where she lifted up a cheerleader or something like that with one arm.
She did cheerleading competitions.
Oh yeah? Yeah. That's how. Yeah.
Yeah, she looks the girl on the bottom.
Yeah. She looks familiar.
Yeah, I mean she's just like like if you cross what I'm trying to think of, if you cross a certain bodybuilder and a certain wrestler, she looks like a cross between a little bit of China and a bit of Brock Lesnar.
Not to go off topic, but not to go off topic, but she looked like she could be like in a movie or something, like in a sci-fi movie. She could be like a Klingon or something like that. They always have these broads on Star Trek, and not too many of them are muscular. They're supposed to be charged, militant, and all that type of stuff, but they're not like muscular or anything like that. So that's what just came from my mind.
Well, that's Hollywood are not going to give a lot of women of that shape and dimensions too much attention and put them on shows. Like, I think it would make more sense if they put on a little more, but some of the ladies are mostly fit, but not as at the level of what we want to see in muscularity. We had a man, Ken. Shout out to Ken. He says this. He says, "I would never happen, sadly, but to entertain the idea that athletes want to wrestle not in competitions from it may cause constant injuries unless it's heavily scripted." And wrestling is heavily scripted, but his thing is, they still have accidents that happen. You remember the late Owen Hart? His situation happened.
Yeah.
Draws, you remember back in the day when him and I think it was who was it? What's the guy? Who was it? Was it D'Lo
Brown?
No, was it D'Lo or was it
Yeah, it was D'Lo.
It was D'Lo. I was wondering. I was trying to remember. That's always but yeah. Shout out to me and King sticking in. He says Sarah Vilgish would be really good heel. Anastasia Levinova,
she would
like the silent Brock Lesnar type, but deadly, along with her husband being the ballet. Undershaw would be full on babyface. Yeah, I can see that because her husband's I mean, he could be like kind of like Bobby Heaton, the Israeli Bobby Heaton. Talking shit. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the guy. I just like this. Also, he says this. He says, he says this. He says, can't can't imagine the others wrestling. Well, you know, it's all dependent. Some did have some wrestling background, you know, like maybe collegiate stuff, but not really the professional stuff. Also, this is his.
That's why I think that's where the promos come in. Just keep it bodybuilding. You don't necessarily need these ladies wrestling per se. Again, they don't want to get hurt, you know, so they're not going to do it anyway if they don't want to get hurt. But do the promos and everything else that comes with wrestling, you know, and get the announcers that are a little bit more dynamic, you know. And that, you can make it more like wrestling and make it more interesting.
Yeah, because there are storylines in bodybuilding right now that I really like.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if but they'd have to make up some fake ones too. You know, they don't necessarily need to get in the real nitty gritty, because then the women would be worried about getting blacklisted and shit like that. So you just get the Manions to write the script and shit, you know.
Yeah, the
Manions.
You have Jam come out with Tyler. You can have like maybe a situation where they're messing with Derek Lungford, and you know you have like
Andrew Jack, because they can be going at it as a late.
Yeah, you got Samson do kind of like do because I think Samson Nigerian, you know, he do like the Oma Femi thing coming in like. Take Tyler and put him in like. Yeah, but that's the thing is, you know, people like to be. What?
I'm just thinking Jim Manion could be Mr. Manion, kind of like Mr. McMahon character.
No chance that what you got. Boom, boom.
That would work, man. It would work.
I think they're about the same age, because you know, Vince and Jim Manion.
I don't know if Jim Manion would get jacked like that though.
No, they wouldn't be. You know, even now after now, you know, because Vince don't do it too much anymore, because you know he's up there now himself. Shout out to our man Ken. He said this. He says Mount Rushmore, Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, CM Punk, and Macho Man. That's pretty
good. There you
go. Yeah. Also, shout out to our man Lawrence Perkins coming through. He said this. He says, "Hello, everyone. Happy Memorial Day. Happy you too, brother." Also, he says this. He says, "I remember Don Sleeve said she retired from wrestling because she didn't want to get injured." Yeah, because it's tough. The thing about wrestling, it's scripted, and they do know how to move, but injuries happen. I've seen. I mean, one time I was watching this. It was a bout between Chris Benoit and another wrestler, and he actually headbutted him by accident. I mean, put him. You know, Chris Benoit. You know, he's like. You know, and he accidentally. Yeah, you know, and that's one thing you got to be careful, because you know a lot of these wrestlers do with injuries. Remember I said earlier with Draj getting paralyzed. You know, it's a tough. It says like if it says that it's sports entertainment, and that's what thing bodybuilding should pull from that, because it is a bit entertainment. It's not like a mainstream sport where if we talk about the other week talk about we don't really not really make much of a living off of it, but it's entertaining and people go to shows and they go cheer. You know, you have the good guys, you have the bad guys. You know, you have your favorites, you have the heels and the baby faces. And
yeah, you do.
If you go. Yeah, like if you look at bodybuilding, and you say, like I said,
I had an idea. It could be the baby diet faces.
Oh my God! Did you hear him?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'd be like, but
baby diet face.
Now I think we all know that I think Sarah Vegas is probably going to be the biggest heel. And
yeah, that'd be your biggest heel right there.
Italian's gonna be babyface. Who else would you say would make a great heel babyface combination?
Heel babyface combination. Man, no, I can't name. Everybody else seems to be like baby faces.
Well, as you know, Andrea would be a great.
She'd be your top baby face right there, but.
And I think only person I think might be the best heel for her would be Angela Yo.
Yeah.
Nah. I see her as baby face.
Angela Yo would be like the Undertaker of female bodybuilding.
No, she could be like a tweener. That's why I see her as.
I'm thinking like Undertaker the character, because she's got the dark arts thing going on. Yo does, you know.
Yeah, that, I mean, that'd be pretty good. Or, you look over at the men's division. Right now you have the thing with Andrew Jack and one big rivalry that some people forget sometimes: Nick Walker and Bob Chicarello.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, I see that kind of like almost like JR and the Michael Cole feud used to have. JR, remember he was the old school announcer. It's gonna be a slobber knocker in this one, and Michael Cole was coming up. I think Michael Cole still is at.
Oh yeah, he's still doing his thing.
Yeah, JR pops in now and then, but one guy I used to be a fan of, Tony Schiavone. He was WCW. Now he's with AEW. Shout out to my man here. Shout out to Emmanuel says professional bodybuilding would be like WWE in terms of WWE outreach to Hollywood through its pioneers like Hulk Hogan, The Rock. Bodybuilding has tried to do that, but it failed miserably. Yeah, it's tough.
But I remember Ico Pro.
Yeah, but here's the thing is, there's been quite a few celebrities that go to these shows. Like, actually, there's Ric Flair. There's a picture of Ric Flair hanging with Isabel Terrell at the Olympia a couple of years ago.
Cool.
Shaq has gone to quite a few bodybuilding shows. And when I was in Florida, I met a gentleman that was a big bodybuilding fan, and we talked a little bit. And he knew a legend from back in the day that was K Baxter. And that was, and I know I like to pull this out always. This is my favorite picture where I got to meet Dave Lee Roth.
Oh, and man.
He talked about K Baxter, and this guy is a rock and roll legend. And
we should pull up the video had K Baxter in it from Van Halen, because it was California Girls had her in it.
Actually, that was when Dave was solo, because he remember that when he did that California Girls.
Oh, that was solo. You're right.
Yeah, it was solo. Right. Because he left Van Halen a little bit after that, and he switched from Van Halen to Van Hagar. But yeah, Dave, we talked, me, him, Eunice, we talked a good bit. He talked about how Kay was his trainer. And there's a guy doing an interview where she this gym that we took, I think it was in Gold Gym, and he liked the celebrity, but because he knew Kay and they were friends, they let the guy let him train with them. He's really, really into it. I mean, it's amazing how people from a different type of genre, especially of music, is and one thing was what got WWE this big new life was when people like Cyndi Lauper, when she was hanging around, and because she was like, Hulk Hogan was a bodyguard. She was friends with Capitol Urbano, who's in the
Mr. T came along again.
Mr. T, because he was friends with Hulk Hogan. It really blowed up when these celebrities like Muhammad Ali was a referee at a fight. Mike Tyson, that time with him and Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels. Even a certain orange, balding, think he's a intelligent man, but he's just a shitty old man. He was there, and Stone Cold gave him a stomach. Watching that video, I love that because and now going back to it, seeing it now, say, I wish you can do it now. He's just going to the White House, kick the door, and say, "There you see, you son of a bitch, what?" Yeah, what? I hated that when it first came out, but after a while, yeah, but then after a while, because it was Stone Cold, I just my man Davey sent me something, and it's a lady. If you remember her, I think somebody talked about this. Best known as Luna Vachon. As you know, years ago, she had that raspy voice. Yeah. She should be. Maybe she's a hang with Bam Bigelow. Luna has a documentary come out called "Lunatic: The Luna Vachon Story." Remember, her father was a wrestler, Mad Dog Vachon, and the documentary is about her life from a good part. She died in, like 16 years ago, and she hanged with a lot of wrestlers. Bam Bigelow. She even was wrestling her own stuff and own right other organizations. She was with Gangrel for a good bit. You used to remember Gangrel used to come out with the fire. And she also, if you saw, I saw actually a clip of it where she talks about why she's doing it because she was a single mom and she was taking care of her son. And there's quite a few wrestlers on this documentary. They really respect her. She was I like Ruth Shaw. She was wild. I remember, I think one time there was remember that hardcore title? And I think it was, who was it? It was who had it? I can't remember. I think it was either Dilberg or somebody. And she wrestled him and took the title from him.
Yeah, I think it was Dilberg.
Yeah, it was Dilberg.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. Shout out to my man here, my man Lawrence, keeping up. Thank you, brother. Also, he dropped some other ladies here. Says, I remember time China Doll, Joey Lamona, Midnight, Christy Wolf, list goes on and on. Also can't forget.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Nicole Bass. And, there was quite a few female bodybuilders who were transitioning from bodybuilding to wrestling. Nicole Bass was with WWE for a good bit. She didn't do as well, and she did some other federations. We talked about earlier, Melissa Coates. She was wrestling for a good while. She left bodybuilding. I mean, there's so many ladies who got into that sport because it was very entertaining. It was a good way to make a living. Shout out to our man Ryder. He says this. He says, Andrew Yo's look would be perfect. Yeah. Also, shout out to my man Lawrence says, Anastasia Ryder can be Kane of WWE. Could Anastasia be Kane?
I could see that.
Yeah, I can see it. She'd be a powerhouse for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what my man says. Shout out to my man Lawrence. He says, I just stopped in to say that what's up to everyone. Appreciate it, brother. We have here from Charleston. He says this. He says, "What's up?" I say, "Thank you." What's up? And also, he posted this. He says, wrestling and bodybuilding go together." And he also mentioned
WCW.
Yeah, I remember, what for me as a kid, grew up watching wrestling. It used to come on the weekends most of the time. You catch it after cartoons.
Man, those were the days. Seeing guys like Great Muta and Adam and Sting and man.
Yeah, because remember, if you're from the South like I am, cartoons used to come on till 12 o'clock, and then about 1 or 2 o'clock they'll show wrestling. Either show wrestling or they show Soul Train sometimes in the afternoon, or
American Gladiators.
Well, yeah, I think some on Saturdays, but later in the evening. But
later.
When I was a kid, it used to be his network. It was called Channel 62. It was an independent network, and from 2 to 4 o'clock, they had Kung Fu Theater.
Oh yeah, that was good stuff.
They're like, you killed my brother, you bastard. Yeah, I will show you my Kung Fu style.
We had a creature feature was Dr. Paul Bearer was the host, and it was but it was always these cheesy old horror movies. Those are so good, man, so entertaining.
There's a guy comes on called Spin Gooley. He's actually out of Chicago, but they show him on Meet TV, and he shows a lot of the classic stuff. Like the real old from the 50s and 60s and some of the 40s. Yeah, I watch every now and then. It just yeah.
Spin Gooley. No, I'm saying I know what you're talking about. Spin Gooley. Do Me TV. He showed them horror flicks from the 50s and 60s or whatever.
Yeah. You remember Elvira, Mistress of the Night? I mean,
Elvira used to come on late at night.
Who was you realize she's a red hair. She's even got the big wig. She was, her red hair, wow, she's I know she's close to her 70s now, but still looks good. I mean, shout out to the man Charles Alfred says Soul Train in the 80s, then American Gladiators the 90s. Yeah, my man Care to Wonder, he got the interview American Gladiator.
Shout out to him.
Yeah.
And you know,
she wasn't
Zach,
a wrestler though. She wasn't a wrestler, but you know, she was an American Gladiator.
Yeah.
that's the thing is that quite a few American gladiators were bodybuilders. Like
Yeah,
Lori
she was a
Fake who's now
bodybuilder.
come back. Yeah, and don't forget
Shelly
you
Beatty.
know the late Shady Beatty and Tanya Knights.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there was quite a few ladies who were doing that show.
Ice.
Yeah, that's Lori Fake.
Yeah.
Tanya Knight fan. Tanya Knight's beautiful, man. Dang.
Yeah, she was beautiful. I mean, you know, you remember the story the controversy when she got busted for taking steroids. Yeah, I think it was was it 88, 89? And that's why I think it's time to step away from bodybuilding. Yeah, I think it was missing a national title.
Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy, man. I was like, whoa. Because they're all jacked. I mean, they were all using PEDs, you know. So why'd they target her, you know? It's weird.
Exactly.
You know, they were trying to clean up the image. But the thing is, almost everybody uses it. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Go back to the issue of steroids. I mean, remember Krista Bach, she was busted for it, but you know, she's from Germany. And usually those Europeans get the good shit.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Does anybody have watched like the current American Gladiators?
No, I don't have.
No, sir.
I figured that.
Yeah. Well, one of the ladies is out there. Danny you know, I interviewed Danny, and you know, and she's one of the gladiators. I think it's just that, you know, with me, I don't have streaming, so I wouldn't watch it, you know, because I don't have streaming. With that, I think, especially a lot of us who grew up with the era of television, you know, like one guy, you know, when a few years ago, Arsenio Hall came back to late night television, but the problem was television landscape changed. He was on syndication, and back then in syndication, you can be on this channel at 11 o'clock, this channel at 12 o'clock, and this channel at 1. So, you know, like you just saw, Steve Colbert show got canceled, and he used to give hell to both David Letterman, Jay Leno, and Johnny Carson. He made Johnny Carson retire, and he came back, I think about 12 years ago. But the thing was, the landscape of television changed because that's when television switched from radio. Because I used to remember when I used to work at my job, the ladies that used to listen to the stories on their headphones, and you know, used to have the little portable TVs, and they still working so. But then when you know TV switched from analog radio to digital, that killed syndication. Because you know, you used to remember you can like corner the country. Sometimes the best channels come on in a rainstorm, you know, because you get the little antenna, you know, and it'd be the rain would come. You get 10 more channels on UFF. But Australia came back, but syndication wasn't there anymore. It was gone.
Yeah, that's what the TV was, the big fat backs and stuff, and the antennas.
Hey, I remember the big antennas we used to have.
I used people had neighbors had satellite dish.
Oh yeah, my dad had one of those for a while, and he would get the decoder, that special decoder to remember that thing.
Oh yeah, the blue black box, so you can watch all the pay-per-views and stuff.
Yeah, you could kind of bypass the subscription and shit. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, my neighbor had the kind that would move around. So we'd be outside playing, and then we like moving like it's getting the bean. We used to run. He moved as little kids because I think about what it was like for us as TV. You know, TV used to go off by 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, and it comes back on 6, and then you get ready for school. You watching cartoons till the bus comes. You know, kids don't
those were
have
the
that
days.
anymore.
Nope.
Yeah, they don't have that. You know, I think because now with technology,
Eating a bowl of cereal every morning, watching cartoons, and man.
Yeah, I was like, even.
I just want to mention that's something I have seen in some wrestling documentaries I've seen, and I don't know if young people know that, but how wrestling used to be the different regions until WWE kind of just took over, or WWE.
Oh yeah, the territories.
Yeah, they took over all the territories basically, and it's kind of there are still some of those, but they don't get near the attention they used to. But I used to that championship wrestling from Florida. Man, we had some great wrestlers come out of Florida. That was one of the best regions, I think. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, I would say for us, North Carolina was the best region because they used to place it's a place. They did a documentary right back. It's a place I think it's in Raleigh. And it was one of the biggest events. They still have it there. They might do wrestling every now and then.
Really?
And it was.
Man, you're thinking
one of the
NASCAR,
biggest,
man. That's where all the NASCAR drivers are from.
Yeah, but wrestling was also we had roots like remember the Crockett family, that NWA till Ted Turner.
Oh yeah, Jim Crockett.
Yeah, and he created WCW. They brought back NWA, but it's called NWA Power, and it's on another. Billy Corgan, he runs it, for Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, he runs it.
Came back again, or that he's involved. Have y'all seen There's a good documentary on a regional that's run by Snow, and it's the documentary is just called Wrestlers, I think, and it's on Netflix. But it's worth watching because it really talks about how these regional guys are still trying to hang on by a thread, and not they can get a lot of money and stuff. And
independent wrestlers. They are
wrestlers. You gotta have respect for them, but it's just no way to make a living either.
Yeah. I think the ones that also have a harder time for is also the women. Remember, if y'all remember Glow, Glow.
I remember Glow.
I used to love to watch that show because one of my
favorites. Me too. I used to love it.
One of my favorites was Spanish Red. She was, she used to run around with the hat red. She was sexy. I mean, and now it's back. It's a show called Wow. It comes on Sundays, and it's guys who run Glow. David McClain, he runs it, and it was just a great show. I mean, watching.
Oh yeah.
Tina Ferrari, who came Ivory, came from there. A couple of other ladies. I remember there was an episode of Married with Children. With Al, and then went to I think when Paige took the money and went to I think it was Memphis, and they had to go after her, and they lost the money. Al had to wrestle Mama Voodoo.
Mama Voodoo.
Good old Mama Voodoo.
Yeah. And of course, some of the latest episodes they done did. It's watered down. It's happening. It happens. Everything changes. It gets watered down. Also, we got a comment from our man Emmanuel says the only thing that WWE did, I think, bodybuilding is capable of doing is wear titles within it by other entities. The way Vince McMahon brought WCW when it was going out of business, and also they bought ECW.
They bought ECW as well. Now they bought AAA as well, so they stacking up.
Yeah, and also got a little foot in TNA too. The only thing that WE did that I think bodybuilding is capable of doing, he's saying the same thing again. Sorry. Also, it's just from man says, "Wow, it's cool," But yeah, I mean, this is a lady I remember back in the day. She actually started. I remember they used to have a show called Tough, where they it was like the recruiting ground for wrestlers. Some of the wrestlers went off as successful, some didn't do as much.
Tough Enough.
And I remember her. Yeah, it was Tough Enough. And I remember there was one girl on here. She went by. Her name was Linda Miles, and she also went by the name of Shaquita. She was part of what was those two guys? I forget the names. I remember
Eminem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't.
And I remember them.
Shoot.
Yeah.
I was right to my tongue too.
Yeah.
The Basham Brothers. Yeah, the Basham Brothers.
Basham Brothers. Yeah. There she is. She had an amazing body, great look to her. There's Chavo Guerrero, Chavo, and also there's Teddy. What's got Teddy?
Teddy Long.
No, Teddy. God, he Brock Lesnar manager. God, how can I forget his name? He used to also work with the Four Horsemen too. But yeah, I remember she had
Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman. That's Paul Heyman. I thought it was why I said Teddy. Paul Heyman. Yeah. You know, he also used to run ECW.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Anyway, we have here another comment here. Shout out to my man Sean McMillan says, good afternoon. Good night to you, Sean. And also, this is from my man Charles says Basham Brothers. Bashams, yeah, okay. Yeah, they were kind of, you know.
Yeah, they had a little short stint.
Yeah, it was one of those guys that just didn't really stick to me. I mean, I grew up with the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express, Legion of Doom, LOD, the Road Warriors,
and the Rockers with Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, and man, I grew up with those guys.
And one of my all-time favorites, them Steiner boys, Rick and Scott. When they came to the game, they changed between them and can't forget Doom and so many other wrestlers. Harlem Heat. Still remember that time with Booker T, like they were doing an interview, and Booker T said, "Hulk Hogan, we're coming for you."
Yeah, now the moment he put his hands over his head, like, "Oh no, I know."
I mean, but back then, Hulk was so tan, you can confuse him with being black, even though he has different opinions on black people. But we always got to remember one lady. I think when she came to the game, she changed a lot of the sport of wrestling. That is the late Jodie Bowen, better known as Chyna. Chyna was just amazing lady. I think for us who were like, especially if you're a fan of bodybuilding, you didn't see a woman like this. There were about female wrestlers, but many of them looked like regular women. Here she is. I think that's her and another lady. Her name is Katie Hamilton. They look about like could be sisters. The jawline about the same. And Chyna also. She was just great. This is her and Shane McMahon, Shane O'Mac. She had a great muscle. It was always a debate about her femininity. And also her relationship with Triple H, Hunter Helmsley, because back in the day, they both was at the same wrestling school, Killer Kowalski. They were friends, they were lovers. Things changed after he got up with Stephanie McMahon. And one thing about Chyna was she was one of the first female wrestlers successfully to get the most covers in print on Playboy. Especially with this type of physique.
She was IC champion and everything.
IC hardcore champion. First woman to hold the title.
Women's champion. What else?
She, I think she even was a tag team champion. You remember, she was with DX. She was like, originally it was her and Hunter. And then later on, Shawn Michaels came in. Then she was at one point. After her and Hunter broke up. She was engaged to X-Pac.
Yeah,
they were in a relationship for a good bit, and then she went through a lot of stuff. A lot of personal issues. She was just an amazing lady. I was, like I said, a fan of Chyna. She had a great look to her, great muscle. That's her with Charles Glass, beautiful physique. She had muscle. And she had just a phenomenal body. Especially if you were a fan of women bodybuilders, and you see this woman coming in wrestling, she was a bodybuilder, but she was a wrestler. But to me, she was the one that really changed the face of professional wrestling when she was in the game. Got here comment from my man David. It says, I gotta go see y'all later. Appreciate David coming through, brother. Thank you. Also left me a little something in the comment section. See what it is. It's a link. And check out Kate Baxter's DL's video, Daily Block video. I think, I gotta be careful because you know how it is. YouTube, I would love to watch. I'll probably watch it later, but you know how YouTube is.
Yeah, I was talking with Samuel Oldman. He done some videos with Kay Baxter. I think some of them they were like wrestling session videos, and stuff like that. And he did it with other bodybuilders, but yeah, I think he did like I know she did a movie, and I think she did like some wrestling session videos, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, like I said, especially as a bodybuilder, there's not a lot of. It's not, as we talked about before. It's not a very profitable sport, and you have to, especially if you're amateur. Like even as pros, you have to find a way to make money. Some ladies do the wrestling session videos, or they do. That was back then, before the blow up of social media and things like OnlyFans and these video sites. Here we go. Shout out to my man. Sean says The Rock cousin Umaga worked for Paul Heyman ECW before going to WWE. Yeah, that was all family. Like Rock, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Nia Jax. That's all the whole famay.
Jacob Fatu and that's a family business right there.
Is Jacob Fatu Ming's son, or who's his dad?
I think it's Ming.
Because you mentioned
he's somebody's son. Yeah.
Because I think he might be Ming's son. His mother might be one of The Rock's cousins or something. They all grew up like family.
Yeah.
You go, you see them arguing and feuding, but then you go to a family reunion to be all hugging and kissing on each other because they're family. Shout out to my man here. He says China was awesome. She was amazing.
Yep, she sure was.
Yeah, she was great. It was, also I remember Midnight. That was Emery Crooks. She was beautiful, great physique.
She was with Booker T for a while.
Yeah,
for a little bit.
They were real good friends. They were tag team partners. But just one thing about she could have really blown up if she was with the right organization. WCW did pretty good. I think WCW came in late when they did the women's.
Yeah, she came in right at the tail end of it.
Yeah, because they started with Alundra Blaze when Medusa came over there, and then they didn't really build it like it should. That's a good wrestler here and there. You did have Chrissy Wolf as one of the guys mentioned earlier, but they didn't really, really grew up like how WWE has grown it. And we look at also at AEW. This lady over there, her name is Kelly Rossi, and Callie is actually a bodybuilder. If you know her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple other ladies who compete. There's one lady I mentioned before. She's a Mexican wrestler. She also competes.
I forgot her. It's right. Took about time. She a mask wrestler too.
Something like that.
Yeah,
CMLL. CMLL. That's her.
Because she wears a mask even as a bodybuilder. Yeah. And
every bodybuilding show, she wears a mask.
Yeah, and I remember I actually remember saw some of it, and I made a video on my IG. She liked it. She even commented on it. She speaks
that was
Mexican.
cool. That was a cool video. I seen it.
Yeah, she speaks mostly Mexican, but she did like it, and I appreciate that because I think she had a great look to it. I think potentially this is somebody, if she ever think about turning pro, in the bodybuilding, but I think she likes her wrestling career more.
Yeah, I think she's more focused on wrestling.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she wrestles for she wrestled for, I think it's a Ring of Honor. It's like a
CMLL.
Yeah.
Some of them they're not bodybuilders, they're just wrestlers, the chicks that she wrestled.
Yeah, because she does that for a good bit, and I think she did some little bit of AAA too.
Where's this at? Like in Mexico? Like yeah,
AAA is in Mexico, but also she does Ring of Honor, which is part of AEW. That's her holding up that's Sasha Banks. Or actually her name is Monet Divine.
Mercedes Monet.
Mercedes Monet, yeah. But this is, she has, wow. This is, I mean, I think she has a beautiful look to her. I mean, I'm curious what she looks like under the mask.
No, that's why I call it back.
That's it's beautiful back. This is a good example. I mean, if she ever really gets serious with the bodybuilding, I think she can do well. I mean, but there's so many women, that have that great look to them, great aesthetic. Just a great. Oh, here goes. This is a shout to my man. Sean says, China was the first woman to compete in the Royal Rumble. Yeah, I remember that. She did quite a few other. She mixed up with the guys. And also, shout out to my man. He gave me answer. Says, Jacob Fatu's dad is the Tongan Kid. Ooh, okay.
Okay.
All right, the Tongan Kid. Okay, because that's like I said, all that like Jimmy Snuka is Rock's great uncle. He's I mean that's wow. We got here from Go 10 Huggins that says, "Yo, what's up? What's up?" Yeah. But if bodybuilding could be more like professional wrestling, it would be more entertaining. People would go to shows. People
it put more eyes on the product.
Yeah, if there was, you're not going to do the professional wrestling part with the, so like, but maybe better conversation. Just like to say, I'm just going to lift weights. Yeah. I drink milk. Like, no, really.
You really got to put some oomph into it. Like, I'm going to go out there.
Like, I remember, like, today I watched The Rock talk about, like, I see talk about, and then, Woody Poo Candy. We have a SmackDown here, Candy. That is what entertaining. Especially coming up how we were coming up as kids. It's just, and like I said, I'm still a fan of bodybuilding, but I like to get maybe a little more attention, mass attention. Shout out to my man, John Staley says, Jazz and Jacqueline both had nice physiques. Jazz still wrestles a little bit. She actually Tyra back. She still helps and coach some ladies. Kia interview a lady, Noshuba, who used to work with Jazz because just switched in Texas. Wolf 5, Noshuba Wolf 5 now. She went by the Warrior Wolf, but now she changed her name. And as a fan of both these things, I don't watch wrestling as much like I used to. I don't have I don't have cable. I don't have cable. When I do watch wrestling, it's like little independent thing like watch WoW. It comes on Sunday. I watch it because it's entertaining and the ladies look kind of hot. I can't keep them a perv, but every now and then some puppet on YouTube or on IG, like the whole thing with we did like the whole thing with the superpowers, or some with Macho Man, or it just takes me back. Like Ric Flair, brought it with him. He was just the limousine riding,
jet flying, kiss stealing,
drinking, kissing, son of a gun. And it's hard to get these alligators off my feet. That was just something as a kid just to watch. Even though he was a villain, he made it work for him. And
it made it worth watching too. So I used to be glued to my TV watching that, watching this promo.
Yeah, he's supposed to, remember like people like Baby Doll and and him and Leslie Rose going back and forth, when
him Tully Blanchard nodding and
and one guy was pretty good was Lex Luger. Lex Luger was a bodybuilder, but also he played as a football player for a good while. He's doing pretty good now because a while back he had some issues, he couldn't walk, but he's working Diamond Dallas Page, and he got him to walk a little bit. I mean, he went through a lot. I mean, I remember I saw him with his other thing, his reality show. And I didn't recognize him at first till I look at his face and said, Lex Luger? Lexi?
Oh yeah, he lost some mass.
He lost a lot. He went through some stuff. And this sport can really, this stories of wrestlers have mental issues, the Von Erichs,
only one more brother's living.
Yeah, I think it's Kevin Von Erich. I think Kevin. Shout out to Ken, my man Ken. He stepped up and he has some stuff going. He says, Jacqueline was my childhood crush. Yeah, I like Miss Jackie. She was
okay.
Also mine too, to Sean. Yeah, I remember that time when her and Sable did the thing off, and when Sable just had to pair with but Jackie.
Oh yeah, how can you never forget anything like that? I saw that pay-per-view. I was like,
Jackie had G and A. Shout out to man KL says, see you guys later. Appreciate you, brother, coming through.
See you later.
Folks, before we started earlier, my man David sent me a link, and it was I'm gonna share it with you. As you know, we have a couple of shows coming up this weekend. One show is going to be in Shreveport, Louisiana, and that is the Ultimate Classic. There's a lot of talk, a lot of who's going to be at the show.
I'm about to ask about the list.
After a low showing at the Pittsburgh Pro, and that's one of the biggest shows of the year. Especially for women's physique. New York had at least 11 ladies, and they only had 6 ladies for Pittsburgh. And that was shocking.
Curious.
Congratulations to Paula Ranta winning both those shows. The list came out, about a few hours ago. David sent it to me before we got it, before we came on. I said, "Well, we'll talk before we go out," and you'd be surprised. I mean,
do we need a drum roll for this one, or is it kind of
I don't know if you want to make it a drum roll or not. We have here 6 ladies for the show.
Again?
Yes, we have. This is actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, that's one more. Okay, we did a little something.
One more little, but still. This show before had, like, one year, I remember it had at least to 12 to 14 women.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It had like 12 to 14 women last year.
Because last year, the winner of that show was Rachel Daniels. And, I think Anna
Prince came in second, right?
Second. And Paula took third. They were the top 3. And also in the top 5, you had Marika Jones and I think, what else I forgot? But this time, you only have 7 women for this show. And wow. This year is going to be pay-per-view. And I'm debating, because one thing is, come
on, man. You got to watch other divisions. It's still bodybuilding.
But here's the thing. I watch promoters that support women's bodybuilding opportunities. I will. But I'm debating because I want to see the outcome of this show. And,
especially Sarah Bradley. Come on now. I want to see how she does.
Sarah Bradley's on the list. We also Ogun Ponfans. She's from Mexico. Elizabeth Jackson just did the Puerto Rico Pro last month. Susan Matheson, that's
Susan Wildfactor Matheson. Yep.
David's gonna be down there. That's his girl.
Yep. That's probably why. Yep.
We have Susan Oktay from Australia, and I think I follow her. She's very amazing. I mean, I think she had.
She is.
We have Winston White. I'm surprised she didn't do Pittsburgh. This show. And Nicole Wachowski.
I can't even pronounce it.
David interviewed a while back. She's a client of Pedro Martinez. Pedro is the husband of Ann Harris. That's her coach. And I've reached out to you a few times. I'd love to interview with her. I know Dave did an interview with her. I mean, one thing about her, she owns a monkey. That's really wow. That's wow. She owns a monkey. And there's an interview with David. Also, like I said, I do always want to get shot to figure. We have here Diana De Freitas, who just did also Pittsburgh.
Yeah, she did Pittsburgh.
Bowen, I believe she's from Ukraine. We have here Cynthia Caldwell. Spree Dias, who I think
Spree Dias.
Yeah, she's competing a wild time. We have Jacqueline Kandar, I think that's the name is. Gabriela Lenhartovova. That's the one I've said that she should be doing physique. This chick, she got.
Yeah, didn't you mention her yesterday?
Yeah, she has a sister named Teresa. But if you look at these kinds of things, Christina McGregor, Sarah Moline, I believe, Danielle Rose, Rachel Sadwich, who just did.
Okay. Yeah, she did. Pittsburgh.
And Tamika Tucker, who's been a guest on my channel. If you remember, Tamika turned pro.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, back in 2023, and then she was doing both wellness and figure, but got a pro card in figure, and that's the list. I mean, but also there's another show. It's another show in that's going on. It's going to be in Spain. It is a master's
2 shows.
Yeah, it's probably a lot more shows, but this is, as you know, I painted the shows that do carry like women's physique and women's bodybuilding, and we have here is the Spain Masters Pro, and
nice.
We have it's a 40 class show, not as many competitors because especially in Europe, we have a few ladies here. Christina, this is for figure Christina Arrojo. One lady name I don't really know her. I might not do too much. One lady I recognize here. She did the Yatisha Monarch. She did the Triple O last month. And also women's physique is only 4 ladies. Michaela Zink, Nikki Betty, Amy Reeves. She did I think she did a show a while back, and Taja Schroeder. So so this is for Masters of qualification. I'm debating should I do it because I might just. The big problem is with the figure competitors. If I can find some pictures and stuff and videos on it, I might maybe just put pictures instead of making a video because, but I probably will focus on just do one video. Like, sometimes I make 2 videos.
Yeah, I see that you make 2 videos sometimes.
Yeah, but this time.
Like, hey, let me go check that out.
Yeah, but this time with only just so few numbers, I'll probably just do like I did for Pittsburgh, just make 1 video. We have here some comments here. Before we head out, this is from a man. It says Rikishi, Yokozuna, Umaga, and Tonga are brothers. Oh, okay,
nice.
Right. So that makes the Usos.
There's your bloodline right there.
Yeah, make them first cousins. He's first cousin with the Usos because Roman Reigns, his father was one of the headhunters. Yeah. Also. He says this, shout out to him. He says, let's go Olga Isabel Jackson, finger red number 1, finger red number 1, figure, it's probably something in the YouTube, but it doesn't translate over on the screen for StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, it says, let's go Tamika Tucker, finger red number 1, finger red number 1. Because all you gotta do is we go into the comment section of the YouTube. I can look in it.
Like a finger.
Yeah, it's gonna show. It should be able to show it 3 minutes. Because YouTube have their own kind of emojis, and they're not gonna cross over into StreamYard. So but yeah. Also he says, let's go Michaela Bummer. Who's that?
Oh, I think he's talking about the woman that won FIBO last month or something.
Okay.
The Masters one. I made a video about her on my Instagram playing Ultimate Warrior music because she looked like she's that Ultimate Warrior interest. That's why I made that. I think that's who he's talking about.
And we just had some ladies that got the pro card over the weekend. Clara Crowder. I'm going to do an interview with her end of this week. Also,
I saw that.
Rebecca Jansen. She's
okay. Are you going to be doing an interview with her?
No, probably not. Because some of these girls, no matter how much you reach out to them, unless you're the bigger platforms or somebody recognize them.
Oh yeah. Okay, got you.
She done a little thing to talk with AJ and JB. I mean AJ when he was at that event she competed at, but more like he'll probably get interviewed in the future. But especially over in Europe, most time I'm not. As you know, my platform is not that big. I've been out here 8 years.
I mean, you got 5,000 subscribers. You're big enough.
I'll be enough for me. But like I say, how some of these ladies are very picky they are. And my style, as often I say this,
you're more entertaining, more comedic type of that guy.
Also, I hit some hard questions that sometimes some people don't want to. Can be a bit controversial. I'm just a simple criminal. So, but shout out to our man Kenny says correct. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. That's Michaela. So anyway, folks, we're gonna wrap this up. I mean, wrestling, bodybuilding, many wrestlers have gone into the sport, and now you're seeing quite a few wrestlers crossing over from wrestling to bodybuilding to bodybuilding to wrestling. Aspects of some same trends different, but it's one is a sport where you can really make a living off of. The other one is more or less a hobby, and it can both have a lot of work, commitment, and discipline to it. There's some
most definitely.
Yeah, and always this one point of it that the men get more attention than the women, but the women are climbing up, especially in wrestling. Just saw a while back a lady who was a MMA fighter who just made a return for a bit, Ronda Rousey. That was
that fight was But anyway, next subject.
Next subject. But I feel like this: it's all entertainment, be it sports entertainment or just be it a sport. Be a fan, support it. I would love the opportunity. I've had interviewed a few female wrestlers, but they're usually busy, this and that and that, or they have a manager, so it's hard to get with them.
Oh, you need to have like a big platform, like you said, so they can get to you.
And it's easy to get with bodybuilders because they're more open. Some of them, not all of them, and we want to talk. So this is kind of a slow month for me. I usually have a good amount of interviews, but I think because the season's revving up, ladies are prepping.
It's revving up.
Yeah, so I hope maybe
they're prepping.
I hope I get some because for June, I think we have a couple of shows in women's bodybuilding. In a couple of weeks, it's going to be the Toronto Super Show. It's a Masters and Open show. Then also, I think that following weekend after that is the Imperial, and if you saw also the Chicago Pro added women's Masters bodybuilding 40 plus in other classes, but not women's Open.
Not Open though.
But we understand the politics and things go behind that. And I don't know. I'm debating if I watch it or not because it's going to have women's bodybuilding. But the thing is, if there's not going to be enough bodies, enough numbers, what's the point? But again, but I'm on the fence about maybe I might check out. Even though we only had, really 6.
I mean,
7.
I mean, 7. That's one more than Pittsburgh Pro.
That's one more Pittsburgh Pro, but at least 4 less than Pittsburgh. I mean, than New York. I know I think some ladies are shooting for. Ultima is it's actually the next weekend. Not the Omaha.
Omaha.
Weekend, that's the next weekend. So I think some ladies probably after some ladies at Pittsburgh, New York may want to take time and grow, especially this show is only for women's physique. They usually have women's bodybuilding, but a promoter, whatever, he doesn't do pay-per-views. That's the second part about it. But this promoter,
some are televised though, man. Come on, you gotta show it.
But this promoter is going to have a pay-per-view. I might do it. Right now, it's the end of the month. My funds are getting a little tight, so I gotta debate. I might need something in the week, but what? My mom always told me how to bend $1 if you can, but
take it easy. Take it easy with your money.
Yeah. So, you have anything coming up, brother? Just anything you want to share?
Well, I should tell you should start watching the Wellness Division. There's some good storylines over there, and make sure you follow Women's Bodybuilding Empire, be part of Empire Nation. But like I said, the Wellness Division is on fire right now. You have Fransueli, Motos training, Daniela, Laura Del Sol, Mendoza. And she won both the New York Pro and the Pittsburgh Pro. That's a great storyline right there. She was motivating her, training her to be the best that she can be, and she did just that. And you have Rayanne Fergal winning both Arnold Classic US and the UK. Come on now. Come on, my man. You got to watch the Wellness Division. I want to make you watch it.
It takes my interest, but I see it like bikini. It's just, some of those ladies, like that, the girl you sent me the picture of, and she's the wellness, was like 6 foot tall. She looks like she can figure. I look at her, she look more close to figure she is wellness. I mean, this is where I don't know. It's how these divisions are evolving, changing. We talked about that the other day. I mean, but like I said, each their own. Like I said,
to each their own, though.
Each their own, But if you're someone who supports that division, good. Shout out to you. If you support another division that I don't mention it, I just excuse me.
No.
But like I said again, ladies out there in the wrestling world, in the bodybuilding world, I'm a fan. I mean, you know, watch y'all pretty much most of my life, you know, double dipping between from shows like WOW to Miss Olympia to Miss International to WWE to, you know, just I respect y'all ladies' passion, work, and commitment. Again, I would love to get an opportunity to interview some ladies in the wrestling world, but again, they usually are busy, like maybe, and also some have managers may not want to do a show like mine as a platform, but you know what, maybe in the future. So, folks, I want to appreciate my guests coming through. My man Ken, man Emmanuel, you know, Gotita. Can't forget our Charles Alford, and also our brothers KL the Wanderer and David at Female Body Forum. You can catch David. David's going to be going to the Ultimate Classic this coming weekend. He's hoping to do some interviews, some talk, get the opportunities. You might get quite a few interviews because, like I said, there's only 7 women for this show. You might even talk to some ladies also in other divisions. You know, brother, you know, post some stuff. He tagged me last time when he went to New York. Maybe you want to do it again. I would appreciate that. And shout out to all you out there. And also, again, a few days ago, yesterday, the passing of Sachi Butler. This is the thing, people out here. Please get some help. If you feel like you need the help, please get it, because it's tough out there. And don't matter how much you think, no one's out here to save you, but you got to save yourself. If you can't save yourself, then don't expect other people to hand your hand out. Get some help. You know, there's things going on right now. Money is tight. Things are tight. It's mental health should be important, especially physical health. Both should be important. Here's the thing is, if the mind's not willing, the body's not going to go.
Exactly. Both mental and physical is important.
Alrighty. So, brother, we're going to enjoy the rest of this Memorial Day. Like I said, I don't have any job, you know, and I don't got nothing to do. So, you know, I'm just going to be sitting here and just cutting some stuff and getting ready. I'm going to also work on the list for the upcoming shows and post some stuff. You know, again, that's kind of, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's how it is. As you know, it's bodybuilding is a special sport. And that's why if there was more, some kind of lucrative to it, so you can see more ladies. Maybe get some ladies come from overseas.
I mean, like you say, even though it's worldwide, it's very niche.
It's very niche. So anyway, folks, I thank my guests that came through. Appreciate support. Thank y'all again. Catch us next week. Also catch my interview this week with Clara Crowder, new IFB Physique Pro, and also got some
shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to. Also, since you know, shout out to my man here. Charles says, awesome time. Yeah, thank you, brother. And also check my man David out when he goes to Shreveport. Hope he has a good time. This dude's all right. Check out his content. Check out my man KL1. Check out my man Josh here. And also reach out to these ladies in the world of wrestling, in the world of bodybuilding. We most definitely as fans support them because it's a tough sport, especially for a woman. Women just, you know, it's just built different compared to men, but still they are passionate. So, folks, this is man on all the way George Page, aka the Emperor of Human Body Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. I'm out. Good night, good luck, and happy Memorial Day.